Anyway, let's get on with a symphonic black metal clash for all you symphonic black metal fans out there, which is probably like 2 of you on the chat. So, but it'll be fun to do because I do like this subgenre and it has a lot of good bands in here. I'm seeing Windir, I'm seeing Andoceans, Cradle. It'll be fun. So let's get on with it. First up, Stronghold by Summoning versus Death Cult Armageddon by Dimmu Borgir. Dimmu Borgir. If you know me, you know I'm going to pick, but I kind of want you guys' opinions. What are you going to pick? Some people would pick Death Cult. I feel like if Trenches was here, he'd pick Death Cult. That's one of his favourite Dimmu albums. And it's an album that gets people into it. It's probably the first Dimmu album I ever heard. But Summoning Stronghold is a fucking 10 out of 10 phenomenal album. Like, the melodies are so goddamn good. It's flawless. Next up, we have the debut by Carrick Angren, which is a lot less cheesy and symphonic than a lot of their other albums, but I kind of like the charm and the cheese of the other albums. And they have Andoceans. What's this called? Cosmic Mother or something? Tell me in the chat, because I've forgotten what this one's called. I would probably give it to the Andoceans album personally, but I don't mind the debut by Carrick. It's fine. It's just not anything special to me. So, Andoceans. Hopefully that is Andoceans. That was the one that came out recently, wasn't it? Not the newest one, because the newest one came out was it this year? But this is the one before that. Oh, Carrick Angren again. This Ain't No Fairy Tale versus Borknagar True North. Now, this one I do like. This is No Fairy Tale. There's a bit more spunk in the music. But it's against True North like Borknagar, and I feel like just Borknagar's a better band. It's a bit more proggy, and the cold atmosphere of Borknagar just shines through on this album especially. Not my favourite release by the band, but it's certainly better than this one. So, True North, Borknagar. Oh, what is this fucking pig? Oh my god. In the Nightside Eclipse by Emperor, classic of the genre, versus Windir with Arntor. I always said that wrong in my ranking. Arntor. This one is very fucking hard. I love this. I saw it live recently in full at Inferno Fest, and it was so good. In fact, I've seen Anthems live in full as well. It's crazy. Windir, I wish I could see live. Like, this album's I'm gonna go with Windir. It's more folky, it's more my kind of music. It's like the more pagan style, atmospheric black. Arntor, a Warrior, is like one of the greatest black metal songs ever created. But then so is I'm the Black Wizards. That was a stupid pick. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Next up is Ancient. Is this the debut by Ancient? Or am I going crazy? Which one is this? I've only heard... I know, I haven't heard a lot of Ancient. I've heard the first 2 albums. I don't remember the album covers because I only listened to them like a couple of times. The second album was kind of like a definitely change in sound. And it definitely sounded more like definitely symphonic. Whereas the first one was a bit more grounded. So I feel like I preferred the first one. I couldn't tell you for the life of me the fucking name of it. So if anyone knows if this is what I'm thinking of, tell me down below. What was it? Something Grandiose Blood Fiends, something like that. It doesn't sound like the debut. It might be the 3rd album. Someone else going with Emperor on that one. It was it's probably the hardest one I've ever had to do. But yeah, anyway. The Ancient album, the first 2 I've only listened to, so this could be one of them. I don't fucking know. But Windir in 1184 is one of my favourite albums of all time. So, yeah. Even if it is the debut or the second one, which was more symphonic, I love that album by Windir, like, too much. Next up is Andoceans Cypher, which I hate this art. It's terrible. Hate this art. Early Ancient is good, but Windir is on another level. Yeah, Windir is just the greatest. Anyway, Andoceans Cypher versus Balsagoth, the Symphonic Chronicles. This is a weird pick. Symphonic Chronicles is probably my least favourite Balsagoth album, but I do love Balsagoth. But this album is like... not my favorite. Cypher's pretty good. But even then, I still think I prefer Balsagov's sound, so I still think I'm going to go with the Symphonic Chronicles. Oh, what is this? A cradle off? Principle of Evil's Made Flesh. More traditional black metal with Dusk and Her Embrace. As a massive Cradle fanboy, and this is the band that got me into black metal, Dusk is just unmatched in my opinion. Holy fucking shit. Dusk is fan-fucking-tastic. Like, holy shit. Next up, Lemuria, the Hysterical Hunt versus Darkly Venus Aversa. I'm one of the few who love this album. I think it's fucking amazing. I don't understand why people don't like it. Like, the couple of 8-minute songs on the album are so goddamn good. People forget about them. They're amazing. Like, one starts at the Cult of Venus Aversa, and one finishes it. I love those songs. I love them. But Lemuria... Lemuria? Am I saying that right? It's such a fun and unique album. So I'm probably going to go with that. Just to give it a bit of an edge, you know? Anyway, Stronghold versus And Oceans. As much as I like And Oceans in this album, Stronghold. Classic in the genre. People saying Dusk. Yeah. True North versus Arntor. I like True North, but it's not the best of the band in my opinion, so Arntor it is. And 1184 versus Symphonic Chronicles, again, 1184 is a masterpiece. Next up is another Cradle versus Lemuria. Was it? Yeah. So Dusk and Her Embrace versus the Hysterical Hunt. Dusk is too good. I love Dusk. I love Dusk so much. Now this is painful. This is a painful one. Stronghold versus Arntor. My favourite Summoning album versus my favourite Windir album. I know I said 1184 was my favourite, but this is now my favourite. Recently, I don't know. This one is ridiculous. I need some help. I love Summoning. I love every Summoning album. I love every Windir album. This is so stupid. The Rotting Horse and the Deadly Ground, or whatever it is, oh, such a good melody. This is the hardest one. I'm going to have to go with Windir. I love it. I love the pagan atmosphere of it. It's just so good. Now, 1184 versus Dusk. I'm actually going to go with Cradle. Dusk just got me into metal. Like, Dusk got me into this whole fucking genre. But pitting it against Arntor, I think Arntor might be one of my favourite black metal albums of all time now, so sorry Dusk, Arntor it is. Next up is a ridiculous one. Old Man Child, The Pagan Prosperity versus Kaladin Brood, Echoes of Battle. Holy fucking shit. One of the greatest atmospheric black metal albums of all time. Well, they only had one album. Versus my favourite Old Man's Child album, and I think Old Man's Child is very underrated. This is my favourite album by them. You bastards. You made this like as stupid and hard as you can. Fuck. I wish it was like Gallowbraid versus Kaladin Brood. That would be Battle of the One Album Bands. I feel like for me... this is actually tough. I think... I literally don't know. This could be a coin toss. This one is literally a coin toss. I like them both equally. Because I listen to Old Man's Child more, I'm going to pick Old Man's Child. It's very close, though. If it was against Gallowbraid, I actually prefer Gallowbraid to Kaladin Brood, so Gallowbraid would have won that. But it wasn't. It was against Kaladin, which I still love, but I think I like Pagan Prosperity more. Next up is Forefather versus Balsagoth. Steadfast versus Battle Magic. Kind of cool matchup here. Kind of like the Battle Twins. Forefather's a cool band, but I am more into the power metal-y Balsagoth side, and Battle Magic's one of my favourite albums, so it's gotta be Battle Magic. Speaking of Balsagoth, Starfire burning upon the Icevale throne of Ultima Thule versus Were the Corpses Sink Forever, which is like the war themes Carrick Angren, which is really good, probably my second favourite album. But it's against Balsa Goth, and Starfire is so goddamn good. Sorry, Carrick. You're getting shat on every single list here. Ooh. Enthroned Darkness Triumphant, the best Dimmu Borgir album, versus Midian, an album that may have been my first album I got by them. At least my first couple. I think I'll pick Enthroned for this, just because it's the best, and this isn't the best. It's good. I like Tearing the Veil of Grace, whatever the fuck it's called, and I like Her Ghost in the Fog and Cthulhu Dawn. But I think this one is the best Dimmu, so I'm gonna go with the best Dimmu. Now Dance and Laugh Amongst the Rotten, which is a bit more silly Carrick album. They don't have my favourite Carrick here. If they had the Ships one, that might have won some of these, but it doesn't. So Forefather, it doesn't matter who it's against, Forefather wins this one. It just does. Oh, you bastards. You fucking bastards. Cruelty and the Beast, which I have a poster of right there, versus Obtained Enslavement Witchcraft, which is probably one of the best symphonic black metal albums, versus one of the best symphonic black metal albums. I don't... See, I'd like this as the final. This would be a great final. And I want this to go far. But Cruelty is my favourite Cradle album, and Cradle is close to my heart. Sorry, Obtained Enslavement. You'd be higher than a lot of these other albums. You'd be higher than a lot of these others. But you're not. Because you're against Cruelty. Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk versus Winterhorde. I don't know what this is. Winterhorde, Maestro. Never heard this album. The first album on the list I haven't heard. Crazy. Yeah. It's got to go with Anthems. And I prefer Anthems to In the Night Side, so yeah. Ooh, Summoning versus Winder again. This time Let Mortal Heroes Sing Your Fame versus Lickford. That is Lickford, right? Really depressing album. This one is really depressing. And this one's a lot more bombastic, like Gandalf speaking in it and stuff. On the rare occasion, I'm actually going to go with Summoning this time. This album's grown on me exponentially, and I just love the beats and the tunes of it. This one's also fantastic, but I'm going to go with Summoning. Yeah, I'm going to go with Summoning for this. Next up, Pagan Prosperity versus Battle Magic. Both fun, but I feel like maybe against some of the other Balsa Goths they'd win, but I love Old Man's Child and Pagan Prosperity. Pagan Prosperity wins it for me. Next up, Starfire versus Enthroned. Very tough one. I love both of these. I might have to go with Balsa Goth for this one. The more fun, kind of power metal-y, icy journey. I'm going to go with Balsa Goth. Now this one, Forefather, kind of more folky, fun, kind of symphonic black versus Cradle, Cruelty and the Beast. You know it's going to be Cradle. You know it's going to be Cradle. Now this one, Anthems versus Let Mortal Heroes. As much as I said this has grown on me exponentially, as much as bombastic and fun it is, Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk is a masterpiece, and hearing it live in full was just blew my tiny little brain. It's just so chaotic. I love it. And the art, it's a masterpiece. Next up, Battle of the Blue. Pagan Prosperity versus Starfire. I think I'm going to go with Old Man's Child again. I'm just giving Old Man's Child all the rim jobs in this video. Cruelty versus Anthems. The cult side of me is like, oh yeah, Emperor. The nostalgia side of me is like, oh yeah, Cruelty. Which one do I like more? Oh, fuck. Which one would I put on right now? You know what? It's got to be Emperor. I love Cruelty. I fucking love Cradle. But Anthems is one of the greatest black metal albums of all time. And again, love Old Man's Child, but Anthems is just phenomenal. And you can't have symphonic black metal without Emperor being there in the fucking final. Windir Arntal versus Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk. Who's gonna win this fight? I know in my heart who it is. My head is saying one thing. Okay, let me tell you. My head is saying, like, Emperor is classic. Emperor Anthems is phenomenal. It should be Anthems in the final, winning the whole bracket. But my heart says Arntal, because I listened to it more. In fact, I listened to it last night. It speaks to me. Arntal is the winner. It's just my kind of music. As good as Emperor is, Windir has that pagan kind of fucking atmosphere and just icy cold fucking... It's not even symphonic. Is it symphonic black? Is it really? I wouldn't even class it as that. But whatever. Arntal wins. I think it's a masterpiece. It's 10 out of 10, but so is Anthems. They're both flawless. They're both flawless to me. Love them to pieces. So that is my ranking and tier list of symphonic black metal bands. So yeah, goodbye to everyone who's not watching right now.